Alright, so today we'll be looking at the apostasy laws in Islam. There are three main things we will look at in this video. Number 1, did Muhammad order the execution of apostates? Number 2, are there any examples of apostates being killed? And number 3, we will look at the arguments that Muslims use to say that apostates should not be killed. First, let's take a look at a video from the popular Muslim YouTuber Ali Dawah, who endorses the idea that in an Islamic state, apostates should be killed.
He's just really lost, just like how I just lost brain cells right now. You just, oh man.
You would not want to believe that certain people should be massacred, executed, for making simple life choices or for their beliefs. Whereas Ali Dawah, Muhammad Hijab, and Dawah men do believe in such things.
Oh my God, look, there's such bad people. Look, Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawah, and Dawah men, they do believe in such. Every Muslim is the same thing, brother. You're the one that's making it seem like it's crazy. Like, obviously, in the olden days, it's much different than what it is now. So just have that as an...
Bro, you just got slapped in your face. You know what Adam did? You came to Adam with a shock effect. Do you know your religion and Ali Dawah and Muhammad Hijab and Imran, they believe that you should have capital punishment to apostates? And you just want Adam to be like, no, really? Bro, Adam is taking the mick out of you. This isn't part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah, there's a reason why there's a capital punishment. Because people like you, little weaklings who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt, and we're proud of that.
Did you notice what he said? He just said,
this isn't part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah, there's a reason why there's a capital punishment. Because people like you, little weaklings who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt, and we're proud of that.
now, what is this corruption in the land that Ali Dawah is referring to? And why does he think the capital punishment should be applied to those who spread corruption in the land? Well, let's go to Quran chapter 5 verse 33 to find out. Surely, the only recompense of the ones who wage war against Allah and His Messenger and endeavor to do corruption in the earth is that they should be massacred or crucified, or that their hands and legs should be cut off asunder, alternatively, or that they should be exiled from the land. So, from Quran chapter 5 verse 33, we can see that the punishment for those who do corruption on the earth is that they should be massacred, crucified, their hands and legs cut off alternatively, and they should be exiled from the land. So this is one of the places where Ali Dawah draws his views that apostates should be killed. Now let's go back to the video of Ali Dawah.
The capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt, and we're proud of that. Yeah, not individuals going and doing it themselves like idiots. Yeah, no, under an emir, it is done. Yes, and we, you know what, we'll be watching. We'll be watching, because if you're going to cause corruption in the land, that's going to cause more damage to the society as a whole, because the Sharia didn't come to protect an individual's right. Hey, can I drink alcohol? Yeah, sure. Drink alcohol, run someone over, kill them, set all this kind of chaos. No, Islam says the right of the community is greater than you individual wanting your right to freedom, which is BS. Absolutely BS, yeah? Don't get me started. So it just backfired on you. Let's see what happens now.
So, where else is Ali Dawah drawing his views from that apostates should be killed in an Islamic state? Well, he draws it from Islam's most trusted sources. Let's take a look at some hadith where Muhammad states that apostates should be killed. Sahih al-Bukhari 6922. I would have killed them according to the statement of Allah's Messenger. Whoever changed his Islamic religion, then kill him. So, as we can see, this hadith is plainly saying that if a Muslim leaves Islam, then they should be killed. We see this in other hadith such as Sahih al-Bukhari 3017, Sunan Abu Dawud 4351, Jami at-Tirmidhi 1458, Sunan Ibn Majah Book 20 Hadith 3, Sunan an-Nasai 4059, Sunan an-Nasai 4060, Sunan an-Nasai 4061, Sunan an-Nasai 4062, Sunan an-Nasai 4063, Sunan an-Nasai 4064, and Sunan an-Nasai 4065. So we can see from these hadith that it is clear that Muhammad ordered his followers to kill those who leave Islam, and this is most likely one of the reasons Ali Dawah believes that apostates should be killed. Now let's take a look at some other hadith that support the capital punishment of apostates. Sahih al-Bukhari 6878. Allah's Messenger said, "The blood of a Muslim who confesses that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah and that I am his apostle cannot be shed except in 3 cases. Inquisitors for murder, a married person who commits illegal sexual intercourse, and the one who reverts from Islam, apostate, and leaves the Muslims." So, one of the 3 reasons that a Muslim can be killed is if the Muslim leaves Islam. We also see this in other hadith such as Sahih Muslim 1676a, Sahih Muslim 1676c, Sunan Ibn Majah, Volume 3, Book 20, Hadith 2533, Sunan Ibn Majah 2534, Sahih al-Bukhari 6899, Sunan an-Nasai 4016, Sunan an-Nasai 4019, Sunan an-Nasai 4048, Sunan an-Nasai 4057, Sunan an-Nasai 4058, Sunan an-Nasai 4721, Jami at-Tirmidhi 1402, and Sunan Abu Dawud 4352. So, as we can see from all these hadith, it is clear that one of the 3 reasons a Muslim can be killed is if that Muslim leaves Islam. These hadith could be another reason that Ali Dawah says that apostates should be killed in an Islamic state. Additionally, there are some other hadith that state that there will be a reward on the day of resurrection for the Muslims who kill apostates in the last days. Sahih al-Bukhari 6930. No doubt, I heard Allah's Apostle saying, during the last days, there will appear some young, foolish people who will say the best words, but their faith will not go beyond their throats, i.e., they will have no faith, and will go out from their religion as an arrow goes out of the game. So wherever you find them, kill them, for whoever kills them shall have a reward on the day of resurrection. So basically, this hadith is saying that in the last days there will be Muslims with no faith in Islam and they will leave Islam. Due to this lack of faith, they can be killed by other Muslims. Then, on the day of resurrection, the Muslim that killed the apostate will have a reward. Some other hadith that report this are Sahih al-Bukhari 3611, Sunan an-Nasai 4102, Sahih al-Bukhari 5057, and Sunan Abu Dawud 4767. These hadith give more reason as to why Ali Dawah believes that apostates should be killed. Furthermore, here is another hadith that supports the execution of apostates. Sunan Abu Dawud 4360. When a slave runs away and reverts to polytheism, he may lawfully be killed. So, if a slave runs away from their owner and leaves Islam and reverts to polytheism, then the slave can be killed. So again, we see more evidence of how killing apostates is Islamic and why Ali Dawah and other Muslims believe in this punishment. Now that we have seen how Muhammad clearly ordered the execution of apostates, let's move on and take a look at some examples of apostates being killed. The first example we will look at is the example of a Jewish man who converted to Islam and then reverted back to Judaism. Sahih al-Bukhari 6923. There was a feted man besides Abu Musa. Muwadda asked, "Who is this man?" Abu Musa said, "He was a Jew and became a Muslim and then reverted back to Judaism." Then Abu Musa requested Muwadda to sit down, but Muwadda said, "I will not sit till he has been killed." This is the judgment of Allah and His Apostle for such cases, and repeated it thrice. Then Abu Musa ordered that the man be killed, and he was killed. So, as we can see from this hadith, there was a Jewish man that became a Muslim and then reverted back to Judaism. Because of this, Muwadda wanted the Jewish man dead, as Allah and Muhammad ordered the death of apostates. And then the Jewish man was killed for his apostasy. Some other hadith that report this story are Sunan Abu Dawud 4354, Sunan Abu Dawud 4355, Sahih al-Bukhari 7157, Sahih Muslim 1733d, and Sahih al-Bukhari 6899. Now let's go to example number 2 of apostates being killed. I call this example the camel urine apostates. Sunan an-Nasai, Volume 1, Book 1, Hadith 306. It was narrated that Anas bin Malik narrated that some people from Ukul came to the Messenger of Allah and spoke about Islam. They said, "O Messenger of Allah, we are nomads who follow the herds, not farmers and growers, and the climate of Al-Madinah does not suit us." So the Messenger of Allah told them to go out to a flock of female camels and drink their milk and urine. When they recovered and they were in the vicinity of Al-Haran, they apostatized after having become Muslim, killed the camel herder of the Messenger of Allah, and drove the camels away. News of that reached the Messenger of Allah, and he sent people after them. They were brought back, their eyes were smoldered with heated nails, their hands and feet cut off. Then they were left in Al-Haran in that state until they died. Now let's go to Sunan an-Nasai 4035 to see if the men were tortured and killed for killing the camel herder or for leaving Islam. The commander of the believers, Abdul Malik, said to Anas when they were narrating this hadith, "Was the punishment for kufr or for sin?" He said, "For kufr." So, the reason the men were tortured and killed wasn't because they committed murder or theft, but it was because they apostatized and committed kufr. Some other hadith that report this story is Sahih al-Bukhari 233 and Sahih al-Bukhari 1501. Now, I'll do a quick summary of the camel urine apostasy story by combining the information from the hadith that I mentioned so you can understand the story better. So, there were some nomads in Medina who converted to Islam, however, they could not handle the hot weather. Because of this, their skin turned yellow and their bellies became swollen. Muhammad then sent some milk camels and told them to drink the milk and urine from the camels to recover and feel better. Once they recovered, they apostatized from Islam, killed the camel herder, and drove away all the camels. When Muhammad heard about what happened, he sent men to capture the nomads. Once they were captured, Muhammad ordered that they be tortured by having their hands and feet cut off, and their eyes were branded with heated pieces of iron. When they asked for water, no water was given to them. Then they were left in that state until they died. Then when Abdul Malik asked Anas, the narrator of the hadith, was the punishment for kufar or for sin, he said, "For kufar." So, the reason the men were tortured and killed wasn't because they murdered or committed theft, but it was because they apostatized. Additionally, let's take a look at example number 3, the apostates that Ali burnt. Jami Tirmidhi 1458 narrated Ikrimah that Ali burnt some people who apostatized from Islam. This news reached Ibn Abbas, so he said, "If it were me, I would have killed them according to the statement of the Messenger of Allah." The Messenger of Allah said, "Whoever changes his religion, then kill him." And I would have not burnt them, because the Messenger of Allah said, "Do not punish with the punishment of Allah." So this reached Ali and he said, "Ibn Abbas has told the truth." So, there were some people who apostatized from Islam and Ali had them burnt to death for this. When Ibn Abbas found out about it, he said rather than burning them, he would have killed them according to the statement of Muhammad, "Whoever changed his Islamic religion, then kill him." What Ibn Abbas said reached Ali and he agreed that the apostates should have been killed and not burnt. Some other hadith that report this story are Sahih al-Bukhari 6922 and Sahih al-Bukhari 3017. So, we can see from these 3 examples that we have looked at that the people who left Islam and apostatized were killed according to the teachings and orders of Muhammad and Allah, as he said to kill those who left Islam. These examples also give more reason for Ali Dawah to believe that apostates should be killed in an Islamic state. Moving on, in this section of the video, I'll address the Muslim arguments that try to say that apostates shouldn't be killed. Here's a list of the arguments I will address. Number 1. The Quran does not state that apostates should be killed, and therefore the doctrine of the death sentence is incorrect for them. Number 2. Only Muhammad was allowed to kill apostates because he was a special prophet like Moses. Number 3. During Muhammad's time, apostasy involved treason, and as such, apostates were enemies of the state and deserved to be killed. Number 4. Quran chapter 2 verse 256 says that there is no compulsion in religion, so how can we kill apostates if there's no compulsion in religion? Number 5. Quran chapter 18 verse 29 says, "Let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve." So how can killing apostates be allowed if people can choose to believe or disbelieve? Alright, so let's address the first argument that the Quran does not state that apostates should be killed, and therefore the doctrine of the death sentence is incorrect. Some Muslims who hold to this view assume that the Quran addresses all the fundamental tenets of Islam, but that assumption is wrong. Some examples of the Quran not addressing things in Islam would be the Kaaba in Mecca being the first house of worship, the direction that the original Qibla was pointing, praying 5 times a day, and the direction of prayer. These are just a couple of examples, and there is so much more about Islam that can only be understood from non-Quranic sources. So, as we can see, the Quran is not a complete religious text, and Islam relies on non-Quranic sources in order for it to make sense for Muslims. So, if the Quran fails to address important topics such as these, then we should not be surprised that it does not address less important topics such as the capital punishment of apostates. Additionally, if Muslims claim that the Quran does not state that apostates should be killed, and therefore the doctrine of the death sentence is incorrect, then this means that they think the Muslims who murdered and killed apostates were wrong in their actions and they did not understand Islam properly. The problem with this view is that some Muslims who killed apostates include Ali, who was one of the 4 rightly guided caliphs. So to say that killing apostates is wrong is to say Ali was wrong in what he did, and that he was not a rightly guided caliph and he committed murder. Additionally, Ibn Abbas, Muhammad's cousin and Islamic scholar, said that apostates should be killed. So to say killing apostates is wrong is to say that Muhammad's cousin and well-known scholar didn't know Islam either. Now, if there was anyone who knew what to do in respect to apostates, it would be Ali and Ibn Abbas, who lived with Muhammad and knew both his words and deeds. Now let's address the second Muslim argument that only Muhammad and Muhammad alone was allowed to kill apostates because he was a special prophet like Moses. The problem with this argument is that it ignores the clear hadith that state that apostates should be killed. Furthermore, consider all the apostates murdered by Ali and other Muslim leaders. If killing apostates were for Muhammad alone, then shouldn't Ali and the other Muslims such as Ibn Abbas have known? Does it seem logical that these men misunderstood Muhammad's teachings? This is unlikely, as Ali and Ibn Abbas lived with Muhammad and knew both his words, deeds and actions. Now let's address the third argument that Muslims make, that during Muhammad's time, apostasy involved treason, and as such, apostates were enemy of the state and deserved to be killed. So the way this argument goes is that the reason there is a capital punishment for apostates in Islam is because apostates would commit treason and join the opposing army. If this argument is true, then Muhammad's command would not need to mention the fact that the reason the apostates should be killed is because they left their religion. It would say that the killing of apostates was commanded because the apostates committed treason and joined the opposing armies. Now, when we check what the hadiths say, we see that Muhammad says, if anyone changes his Islamic religion, kill him. He didn't say, if anyone changes his religion, kill him only if he joins the enemies of Islam. He simply said, if anyone changes his religion, kill him. This hadith is Sahih and found in Sahih al-Bukhari, Sunan Abu Dawud, Jami al-Tirmidhi, Sunan Ibn Majah, and Sunan al-Nasai. Also, when we look at the previous hadith that we saw earlier in the video, we see that Muhammad didn't mention anything about treason or joining the opposing armies. It says, the blood of a Muslim who confesses that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah and that I am his apostle cannot be shed except in 3 cases. One of those reasons is if someone reverts from Islam, becomes an apostate, and leaves the Muslims. Notice it says you can kill a Muslim for reverting from Islam. Nothing here suggests that the killing is for treason or joining the opposing army. Also, when we look at the examples I previously went through of apostates being killed, there was no mention of them being opposed to the state or committing treason. Rather, the only reason they were killed is because they left Islam. So the argument that apostates were killed because their apostasy involved treason and they were enemies of Islam is clearly false and does not coincide with the reports from the Hadith. Now let's address the argument that Quran chapter 2 verse 256 says that there is no compulsion in religion. So how can we kill apostates if there's no compulsion in religion? Well, firstly, I would like to mention that this verse was abrogated. I'll leave a link in the description to a video explaining that Quran chapter 2 verse 256 was abrogated. You can watch it in your own time because we don't have enough time to explain it in this video. Additionally, this verse is saying that there is no compulsion in religion in relation to forcing people into Islam, not leaving Islam. You can find this from multiple tafsir such as Ibn Abbas's tafsir, the Jalal's tafsir, and Ibn Kathir's tafsir. So, the argument that apostates should not be killed due to Surah 2 verse 256 saying that there is no compulsion in religion is wrong and futile. Another Quran verse I would like to address is Quran chapter 18 verse 29, as Muslims also use this verse to say that apostates should not be killed. The problem with Muslims pointing to this verse to say that apostates shouldn't be killed is the same problem that Muslims have when they go to Surah 2 verse 256. This problem being that the verse is saying that you can't force someone into Islam. It's not talking about if a person apostatizes from Islam. You can find this in commentaries such as the Jalal's tafsir, Ibn Abbas's tafsir, and Ibn Kathir's tafsir. So, it is also futile for Muslims to point to Quran chapter 18 verse 29 to say that apostates should not be killed. So, in conclusion, we have seen the popular Muslim YouTuber Ali Dawah say,
This is a part of our religion, there's a reason to it. Yeah, there's a reason why there's a capital punishment, because people like you, little weaklings who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt, and we're proud of that.
We have gone through the Hadith and we have found clear evidence that Muhammad ordered the execution of apostates, and in the examples we saw Muhammad's followers also killed people for leaving Islam. So it's clear that Ali Dawah's view that apostates should be killed in an Islamic state is most definitely found in Islam's trusted sources. We also addressed the common defenses that Muslims use to say that apostates should not be killed and showed how they fail. Well, that's it for today, guys. You can feel free to download this video, upload it to your monetized channels, and use it however you want. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.